Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Crowd Built Garage. We got Mayo back in his spot. Got the Blazer shoved over here onto some little carts. They're kind of cool. Got them on Amazon, you know. Took the Ford out of the way and put the Corvette back in for storage for now. But today we're going to focus on Mayo here. We're going to start with taking out all the stuff that's in our way. That's going to inhibit this motor from just being able to slide right in. See if we have to trim on the firewall a little bit. But we'll get rid of the front differential. I'm going to leave that cross member there. Hopefully that'll be fine and I don't have to make a different one. New motor mounts, so those ones will be coming out. Steering linkage will have to come out of the way. Potentially a steering box. All this other steering linkage through here. Brake lines are all going to probably come out. Fuel lines, all those are going to get replaced. Hoping that I don't have to get into the inner fenders since they are one piece. But I might have to just actually come and notch it around the strut towers, or I would call them strut towers, but these aren't struts. But regardless, think about notching it around there, the backside, and then come back in after the engine's in and make some nice transition smooth panels right there, so we can have some room to work on the exhaust later if we ever had to. Have room for the factory exhaust to go. We'll get rid of that battery box because that's definitely not going to be in the right spot. This front piece right here where the factory headlights mount to, there's a section that's going to have to come out, because if you look at this, I drew a little line here and it's on both sides. But basically, to get that radiator for the 4.3 to fit, I'm going to have to basically go psh, psh. All that's going to have to go away, and it's going to have mounts made so that I can put a bigger radiator in here. I can also do the oil cooler, the transmission cooler part, so that way it works as it's intended instead of just kind of making it. By using the radiator that came out of the Blazer with the engine that came out of the Blazer and the wiring that came out of the Blazer, it should essentially run like the Blazer. So there's lots of parts we'll be taking off this thing because we just, quite frankly, don't need them. So the whole front suspension is going to basically come out. The rear axle and all that stuff's going to come out. Drive lines are already out. And then once we get the Expedition in here, whenever I find one, that's what's going to basically take its place. It'll have the independent suspension front and rear, and we'll be able to slide it up underneath, build some mounting tabs, and set it down on its own feet again. We're going to start tearing some stuff apart. So all this stuff that is unnecessary has to go. But all this wiring and stuff, you know, it's all going to go away. So we'll be able to use the factory heater core location. Hopefully I don't have to cut into that. All the stuff that you see there, all this, it's all going to go away. And we'll run new fuel lines, new brake lines, because I'm not sure which master cylinder I'm going to use yet. If I'm going to use the one off the Chevy, because it has the ABS stuff, which is that over there that I don't want to use. So probably go non-ABS and just go from there. So anyway, stick around. We're going to fast forward some of this stuff, but it should sit right up in that tunnel area here and have this clearance area up here, which I got to figure out how the shift linkage is going to work. And there's lots of little things to figure out, but one step at a time, baby steps. So stick around. she is, sitting in the engine bay. Didn't have to do any cutting. All I got was a 2.5-inch body lift. Exhaust and everything's going to clear just fine. Need to get a light. So it looks like the exhaust and everything's going to fit correctly. That cross member won't fit. You can see there, got plenty of room for the transmission in the tunnel. Even the factory steering box fits. It's just really close on the external oil for the S10. So now, next step would be to figure out a mounting system. Get those things cut off, both sides here. Use that part of the frame rail for my mounts. See there? We'll cut those mounts off. Build something to come off the frame rail and grab those two holes. About the same on either side. Got clearance on the bottom for the oil pan. Not a lot, but I'll probably end up cutting that out and make a new one that goes a little farther forward, or cutting that one down and welding it in farther forward. Yeah, all in all, got some pretty close clearance here. But this is going to give me room to run the factory air cleaner. I'll probably still cut some of this stuff out. I don't think I want to run the battery box right there. I'll probably run it up front, factory location. I'm going to get all these wires out of the way. Mainly just wanted to show you guys that this does fit. And show myself, because I honestly had no idea. But this one's going to just be this one was just kind of a short and sweet video. Kind of clean a couple things out. Slide the motor in. Took the transfer case off and made it a little bit easier for trying to maneuver it in there. But it does fit. So that's a good thing. Not a lot of cutting. So next step is going to be to pull it back out. Do some cleanup, get some mounts made and measured and all that jazz. And then cross member for the transmission to mount to, and then we start running some wiring after I pull some wiring from this and this, which just as the dash has to come out, because if you see that clip there, the computer is up right above that. And there's a lot of dash wires I got to pull, but I'm only pulling that so that I can run all the lights and stuff the way that the S10 was meant to be ran instead of the way that this was meant to be ran. Like I said, I'm not sure if these had a body control module or not, but you know, we're gonna find out. It looks like so far what I'm trying to do is gonna work. So like I said, I got to cut out some of this front here for the radiator. Probably gonna have to go electric fan, more than likely on the outside. Don't have a ton of room in there for that, but that's okay. We can figure it out. Get some low pro fans and all that jazz. So yeah, anyway, next time we're gonna pull the motor back out, do some cleaning, which is actually probably gonna be tomorrow. I just wanted to get a short video out there showing you that, you know, this is gonna work. This is gonna fit. So anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out, watching what's going on. You know, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. For the ones of you that have, I appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.